Admiral Zextar's 4 eyes blinked in rapid succession as he reviewed the tactical display for the 100th time. The geometric patterns of the Galactic Coalition's battle formations stretched across 3 dimensions, each ship positioned with mathematical precision according to strategies refined over millennia. Red markers indicated the approaching Void Swarm, a mechanical plague that had already consumed 17 star systems. The humans request permission to join the front line, reported his aide, Lieutenant Vashki, her tentacles writhing with barely concealed disdain. Zextar's mandibles clicked in what passed for a sigh among his species. 3 months ago, when the upstart human delegation had first arrived at the Coalition Summit, their representatives had seemed almost primitive. No cybernetic enhancements, no hive mind coordination, no quantum-linked battle matrices. Just individual minds trapped in biological shells, speaking with chaotic enthusiasm about concepts that made seasoned strategists' neural implants overheat. "Remind me of their proposed modifications to the Kepler defense formation," Zextar said, though he knew the answer would only confirm his fears. Vashki's holographic display materialized between them. "They want to, and I quote, split the formation, hit them from 17 different angles simultaneously and see what happens." Her voice carried the tone one might use when discussing a particularly disturbing form of mental illness. The Admiral's compound eyes focused on the chaotic arrow marks the humans had drawn over their pristine tactical display. Where Coalition doctrine called for layered defensive positions and calculated retreats, the humans proposed what could only be described as organized pandemonium. Ships diving through enemy formations, coordinated ramming maneuvers, and something they called the old switcheroo, a tactic so nonsensical that the Coalition's best AI strategists had crashed trying to analyze it. "Sir," Vashiki continued, "High Command specifically ordered us to keep the humans in reserve positions. Their combat data suggests they suffer from species-wide tactical dysfunction." Zextar remembered the reports. Human ships that ignored formation discipline, human pilots who treated 3-dimensional space combat like some sort of recreational activity, human commanders who made strategic decisions based on what they called gut feelings, rather than algorithmic analysis. By every metric the Coalition used to measure military effectiveness, humans ranked somewhere between controlled chaos and imminent disaster. The proximity alarms began their ominous harmony as the Void Swarm's leading edge entered the outer detection grid. Millions of geometric shapes moved with hive-mind precision, their formation a perfect sphere designed to overwhelm any defensive position through sheer mathematical superiority. "All ships, assume defensive positions," Zextar broadcast across the fleet. "Execute Kepler Defense Formation 7 Alpha." The Coalition fleet moved like clockwork. Dreadnoughts formed the outer shell. Cruisers created overlapping fields of fire. Frigates established picket lines, and fighters maintained patrol patterns that had been proven effective across 1,000 battles. It was beautiful, elegant, and according to the tactical computers, gave them a 23.7% chance of survival. Then the human fleet did something unprecedented. They ignored his orders completely. "Admiral," Vashki's voice cracked with panic, "the human vessels are breaking formation. They're doing something to our tactical network." On the display, chaos erupted. The human ships scattered in patterns that hurt to look at, their movements following no recognizable strategy. But worse than their disobedience was what happened next. The entire Coalition fleet began moving in response to their madness. "What are they doing to our ships?" Zextar demanded. They're sending music, sir, and something called memes. Our AI systems are trying to process it, but it's causing cascading logic errors in the coordination matrices." The tactical display dissolved into madness. Coalition ships suddenly broke their rigid formations, some following human vessels in wild spirals, others beginning to perform maneuvers that would have been impossible under normal command protocols. The beautiful geometric precision of their battle line collapsed into what appeared to be an interpretive dance performed by 10,000 warships. The Void Swarm reached weapons range and opened fire with characteristic precision, targeting the calculated weak points in what should have been the Coalition's defensive formation. Their weapons found empty space. "How are they doing this?" Zextar whispered, watching human ships weave between volleys of antimatter with the casual grace of fish swimming through coral reefs. Coalition vessels that should have been locked, in rigid formation, flew in spirals around human frigates, their AI systems somehow interpreting Earth jazz music as tactical commands. "Sir, the humans are broadcasting on all frequencies," Vashki reported. "They're calling it coordinated chaos, and they want everyone to trust the process." Admiral Chen's voice cut through the cacophony, her words accompanied by what sounded like laughter. "Coalition fleet, this is Admiral Chen of the Human Expeditionary Force. Stop thinking and start feeling. Music is math, but math isn't music. Follow our lead and dance with us." What happened next would be studied in military academies for generations. The human ships didn't fight the void swarm, they confused it. Their movements followed patterns that existed somewhere between strategy and art, creating formations that shifted like living things. Coalition ships, their AI systems overwhelmed by the impossible mathematics of human intuition, began to move in harmony with the chaos. The void swarm, designed to counter logical tactical responses, found itself trying to target a fleet that had abandoned logic entirely. Their targeting algorithms, calibrated for predictable geometric formations, failed catastrophically when faced with ships that moved like schools of fish, flocks of birds, or dancers responding to music only they could hear. In 17 minutes, the battle was over. Not through superior firepower or advanced technology, but because the humans had introduced something the universe had never seen before, a fleet that fought like a jazz ensemble, where individual creativity served collective harmony. As the last Void Swarm vessels fled in confusion, Admiral Zextar found himself staring at the tactical display in wonder. The humans hadn't just won. They had redefined what victory could look like. "Admiral Chen," he said, opening a channel to the human flagship. "I believe we need to discuss revising our tactical doctrines." Her laughter echoed across the fleet communications. "Admiral Zextar, we've got some Earth musicians I'd like you to meet. I think it's time the galaxy learned to improvise." In the aftermath, military historians would mark this as the moment when galactic warfare evolved beyond pure logic into something resembling art. The humans hadn't just joined the coalition, they had taught an entire galaxy how to be beautifully, effectively unpredictable. Some called it reckless. Admiral Zextar preferred to call it revolutionary.